testing for young learners. Construct and how it is operationalized. Testing young learners can be a difficult concept to grasp. It's not like when we test teens or adults. If you think about it, what are the kinds of questions a child should answer? What kind of exam should it be? When you think about designing an exam for such an audience, of course, you will immediately think of the exact age the learner has. This is a good starting point, but is it enough? The next question you could think of is the different levels of knowledge the child currently has. This is often simple to answer with teen and adult learners, but how can we measure how much a child knows, and exactly what should they know by a certain point? You can think of how major names measure said knowledge. For instance, Cambridge uses the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, CEFR for short, as a base for its exam for young learners. For young learners, Cambridge uses the pre-A1, A1, and A2 to be precise. Designing an exam is always a task that requires a lot of efforts from the designer, especially if it wants to be done properly. Exams for young learners are no exception. Giving a page with questions to a kid may not give you the assessment that you are looking for. Kids will feel pressure to answer correctly when we just want to learn what they know. The exam needs to be simple in nature, attractive, and it needs to be fun for a child. How is it measured? As always, measurement is decided by the test giver. The person leading the test needs to know specific goals on what they wish to learn from the tester. In the case of testing English on young learners, we have a couple of pointers we can take a look at. For Cambridge, they make sure to let their takers know exactly that this is not a pass or fail kind of exam. Instead, it lets them know directly that this is an exam only to measure what they know so far. This may sound redundant for anyone taking a language exam, but for young learners, it gives them confidence that there is really no punishment involved for failing. So, how does Cambridge measure it? The questions are graded in shields that are given to the test taker in each skill: speaking, listening, writing, and reading. For the CEFR, the descriptors for A1 learners say that the student should know basic language descriptors, such as can understand and use familiar everyday expressions and very basic phrases, aim at the satisfaction of needs of a concrete type, can introduce him, herself, and others and ask and answer questions about personal details, such as where he or she lives, people he or she knows, and things he, she has. Can interact in a simple way provided the other person talks slowly and clearly and is prepared to help. These are some of the more complex methods for formal English exams, but what about everyday class learning? Exams can be, again, simple in nature and attractive. We will see a couple of examples just ahead.
Research on topic. Young language learners are students between the ages of 5 and 12 learning another language besides their native language. Hasselgreen 2012. In general terms, the students in this age group are attending elementary education where learning a language is one school subject. They usually do not have a choice in the language they would like to study, nor the types of assessments they will have. Young learners have specific characteristics such as cognitive development, learning stage, motivation, and attention that require special attention. When developing curricula, materials, activities, and assessments, these characteristics must be taken into account to develop them to be appropriate. To assess it, there are at least 6 considerations to be made when assessing young language learners. According to Ria Dickens 2000, there is a consensus that the following features should be present. A. Tasks should be appealing to the age group, interesting and captivating, preferably with elements of game and fun. B. Many types of assessment should be used with the pupils, the parents, and the teacher's perspectives involved. C. Both the tasks and the forms of feedback should be designed so that the student's strengths, what he or she can do, are highlighted. D. The test taker should, at least under some circumstances, be given support in carrying out the tasks. E. The teacher should be given access to and support in understanding basic criteria and methods for assessing language ability. And F. The activities used in assessment should be good learning activities in themselves. In general, tests for children have visuals and colors, are age appropriate in terms of tasks and length, should be scenario based, should be a good learning experience, and should be motivating to learn. Show 2008, Chavan 2001.
Items. Two general categories of items: objective items and subjective items.
Objective items requires students to select the correct response from several alternatives or to supply a word or short phrase to answer a question or complete a statement, which require multiple choice, true or false, matching, and completion. Subjective items. These items permit the student to organize and present an original answer. They include short answers, essays, extended response essays, and performance test items.
Type of tasks. Most of us teachers sort our tasks by how long they take, but we always forget the first, most important step: grouping our tasks in the right buckets.
There are 4 types of tasks: incidental, routine, projects, and problems. Incidental tasks are one-time tasks that take a short time to complete, are easy to do, and aren't repeated. It's a way to serve others and prevent problems that could take more time later. Routine tasks. Routines are a set of recurring tasks we need to do again and again. Practicing a sport, reading 3 pages of a book every day, doing our bed every day are a few examples of routines. Project tasks. They are often the type of work we really want to get to because they propel our project or life forward. Problem tasks. Problems are issues that stop us in our tracks and take precedence over everything else, which can be having a flat tire, not getting the bus on time, etc.
About rubrics, we can see different kinds of rubrics. The first 2 were taken from National Geographic magazine. They are called kid-friendly rubrics, where students had to make an effort to obtain a smiley face. We had an holistic reading rubric, where teachers evaluate the student writing development, taking range from number 1 to 10. Then we had the TOEFL Premier Reading and Listening score. At the very beginning, students received STAR and a scale score of 100. When students receive a level of medals and a scale score 100, they might receive better information about their proficiency level. And when they just had a score report with scale score of 100, it shows that they are in below A1, which is the lowest level. Practical implications. It is important for teachers or young learners to trust their students and to focus on what they can do and what they cannot do as well. Teachers should become aware that children are able to do more than they had taught them, and they can apply their skills in a new ways. The current theme of "we skip it since not learn" indicates a persistent belief of the participating teachers in underestimating children's learning potentials and creativity. Also, responsible people who had to make test decisions must avoid instruments that do not correspond to age or development, because results will be inaccurate and it will not give the correct information. Also, we can see implications in the TOEFL primary test. If measures of grammatical accuracy and lexical knowledge are included as part of the language construct for young learners, expectations should be lower than they would be for older learners. And finally, any assessment for learners should reflect that oral language is a core component of young English foreign language learners' language ability.